Good afternoon. Welcome back to Today with Matt and Dave. I'm Matt Ricker.
And I'm Dave Horvath.
And now over to Dave with some more sports.
So now we're going to go over to the professional field. We're going to start off with a little bit of NFL football. Starting from last Thursday, the Broncos beat the Chiefs. But I'll tell you right now, Broncos O-line really needs to step it up. Peyton Manning cannot take that kind of beating for the rest of the year. The guy is, 39 years old. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but he can't take a beating like that. He's not 22, 23, 24 where he could get back up. He's looking, every hit he's getting up slower and slower. So they really got to address that. Then games on Sunday, Panthers beat the Texans. Cam Newton had a field day out there, looking like the Cam Newton that we saw a couple of years ago. I only wonder.
Speaking of the Texas Cowboys, who was the the quarterback that?
Tony Romo. This is the Houston Texans. The Cowboys are later.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right, cool.
But we'll talk about that. Steelers beat the 49ers. Headline was Steelers go for two and everything else. They crushed the 49ers. Roethlisberger threw for 369 yards, 3 touchdowns. D'Angelo Williams just ran all over him. And the scary thing is, Le'Veon Bell's just coming back. Arguably the best running back in football hasn't played yet this year, and the Steelers are looking like such a high-powered offense. Scary to see them come back. Jameis Winston and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Saints. Winston getting his first NFL win. Good for him. The Vikings beat the Lions. Matt Stafford is left the game at the end of the game. He was complaining about a bruised hip, ribs. So we'll have to kind of see how that plays. The Cardinals, who I think could be right now the best team in football, the way they're playing, really beat down the Bears. And then again, also they lost Jay Cutler to a hamstring injury. Kind of see where that plays out. Patriots played well again. Tom Brady threw 3 touchdowns. He's 1 away from 400 for his career. Looked really well. Defense kind of played let up at the end and let the Bills make it a game. But Patriots looking really strong. LeSean McCoy sort of looked back like his old self. He had 116 all-purpose yards in the game, so nice to see him starting to come back just because I am on fantasy. The Bengals beat the Chargers in an awesome game. Both Melvin Gordon for the Chargers and Giovanni Bernard for the Bengals played very well, and they really kept the game going back and forth. The Browns and Johnny Manziel beat Marcus Mariota and the Titans, but then I think it's funny that how Johnny Manziel played a very good game against Tennessee. He played a pretty decent game against the Jets, and Manziel is not starting this week. In week 3, it's going to be going back to Josh McCown, so I thought that was kind of funny that he's not playing.
Bad move.
I think it's a bad move, too. I think Johnny Manziel's going to give you
gotta go with the hot hand.
Exactly. He played really well last game, and they're not going to put him. The Falcons beat the Giants. Giants fell apart again at the end. Star wide receivers, Odell Beckham Jr. had a monster game. Julio Jones for the Falcons had a monster game. I think the Giants really have to look at that. Wow, we really should be 2-0, but we're 0-2 because we just blew the game at the end. I mean, I know Tom Coughlin got rid of Parker. What's his first name?
Parker. Tristan Parker.
They got rid of him because he's been dropping too many balls, and he's a solid receiver. Maybe they'll get a little bit of spark in him, and they'll stop playing better.
Preston Parker.
There you go, Preston Parker. But he's had the dropsies lately. The Redskins really beat the Rams up pretty bad.
That was a shocker.
I did not expect to see that. With the way the Rams play in Seattle, jeez, to see them. And what was Matt Jones, running back from Florida. He's a good back. He killed them. Jaguars.
I had St. Louis being a playoff team going into this year as well.
I know. Listen, St. Louis got a team. They just got to not do what they did last game. The defense got to hold it. Exactly.
Put it together, guys.
Let's see. Redskins. I talk about Jaguars beat the Dolphins. Kind of surprised there, honestly. I think Dolphins are a very well-built team, but Blake Bortles played really well in that game. They just came out of the end. This is what I thought was the biggest shocker. The Raiders beating the Ravens. Derek Carr, talk about looking like a franchise quarterback. The way he played last game, played very well. And the Ravens, I saw they're scratching their head. You got to step it up. Cowboys, going to your Cowboys. Another major injury for the Cowboys. They lost Dez Bryant last week. Now they lose Tony Romo this past week to a collarbone injury. I had him on fantasy, so fantastic. Lost my quarterback, but I'll have to see where that goes. Hey, I know they picked up Matt Castle. We'll see. I think Brandon Weeden played very well when he played against the Eagles. I know it's the Eagles' defense, so how good is it? But I think you got to give Weeden a chance before you just throw Matt Castle out there. And another team, the Packers, beat the Seattle. But the real question is it time for Seattle to panic? Seattle, I was 0-2. This is a team people thought were going to go to the Super Bowl. They have everything. They got Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham did nothing No, he had one catch for 11 yards. I get you have to get some chemistry between your quarterback and your tight end, but this is arguably one of the top 2 most dominant tight ends.
Get Tim Tebow.
And rumor has it that he's not satisfied with his role
At all.
in Seattle.
I know I'll have to really see how that plays out. Because listen, unhappy guy, chemistry messing up, that's not good for a team, especially if you're trying 0-2 teams. I know you only 0-2, but the numbers are against you making the playoffs. I think they have more than enough time to turn it around. All these 0-2 teams.
Yeah, 14 games left.
Exactly. So. Now, and then Jets Monday, I thought was a shocker, honestly. I know the Jets are decent, but I did not expect Andrew Luck to be so bad again, and he's just not getting protected. But Jets defense overwhelmed Luck and the Colts, and Jets are 2-0. I got to give them credit. They've played well. Honestly, though, Ryan Fitzpatrick is playing well. My question is, when Geno comes back, are you gonna just throw Geno out there? If Ryan's getting the job done, I don't know. I don't think you can take it away from him. I think you gotta let him be out there till he loses it.
And you know what's so staggering about the Jets is that last year they only forced 13 turnovers.
And they have 10 in 2 games. In 2 games, like, listen, they got a good defense.
Now it's 5 turnovers a game.
Yeah, no, they got a good defense. They have a good defense. The whole question mark is your offense. Brandon Marshall. Playing like Brandon Marshall's always played. He's just playing fantastic. Eric Decker's still doing really well. You got just a couple running backs doing well. Polk and
Bilal Powell and Chris Ivory, who's a battering ram.
Yeah, they're both. Well, they both are. They're both are doing
more Ivory.
Ivory, yeah, I wouldn't want to get hit by Chris Ivory, honestly. But we'll have to really see. I'm more interested a couple weeks from now when Geno comes back. Do you give it to Geno just to start?
Well, what do you call it? Todd Bowles said over the summer or after the Geno Smith incident, he said if Ryan Fitzpatrick is doing well, they're going to stick with Ryan Fitzpatrick, and they're not going to go back to Geno Smith unless, worst case scenario, knock on wood, Fitzpatrick gets hurt.
And that's all.
Struggles.
What? And knowing the Jets, let's be real, that'd be something that would happen too. You would lose another quarterback.
Jet-esque.
Exactly. I think we just gotta look. They
could be a playoff team.
They could be. I don't think that division-wise, but wild card, I give them. They could definitely win the wild card. I know they were talking about a couple of the professional ESPN analysts were saying they take Buffalo over the Jets. I get Buffalo's 1-1. Buffalo, I think, has more upside just because offensively they have just better offense because Tyrod Taylor, I think, is a better quarterback than Fitzpatrick. But Fitzpatrick hasn't made mistakes yet.
Well, Tyrod Taylor and Fitzpatrick are
two different guys. But because Taylor's more explosive, that's why.
He's a running quarterback.
Exactly, but he can still throw it. I think the Bills' offense is better if they have on all cylinders, if they have everything working.
They have speed, definitely.
Exactly.
Speed.
I just think it's interesting to see how Week 3 kind of matches up. And actually, talking about Week 3, we're going to talk about Week 3 right now. Starts tonight. Redskins Giants. Do the Giants go to 0-3?
I'm going to give it to the Giants because I think they're due for a win.
Yeah, good go Giants.
Go Giants. Yeah. I say. You know what? Hate on me, Giant fans. I think the Redskins are going to win. I think Matt Jones. I love to see that. Because people still forget.
I don't think so.
You still got Alfred Morris. People are going to think. I know fantasy big thing. Get Matt Jones. Get Matt Jones. Everyone's going to go run and grab this guy. I don't think he's not that big of a game tonight. Honestly, I think he's going to just do mediocre. He have a decent game. He's going to get his touches. You still have a solid running back in Alfred Morris, and Kirk Cousins is not playing that bad. I know of the whole. I don't know if you heard about the whole RG3 not talking to Cousins, all that. I think that's just got to go away. RG3, please man up or get out.
I think the NFL should come up with a new show. It should be called Keeping Up with the Redskins because the amount of drama that this team the amount of drama that comes from this team is just ridiculous.
You know what? It is. But the joke is, if they win tonight and Dallas loses, they're tied for first place. Who would ever think? I mean, a couple months ago, Dan Snyder was saying, we're going to win 4 games this year. He said to his own team, right, we have no shot. So, hey, I think Redskins pulling that one off. Then we're going to go to Sunday. Falcons play against the Cowboys. Colts play the Titans. Hopefully, let's see how that is. Colts.
I think the Colts are due for a win
I think they're due for a win. I hope. Raiders, Browns. That's interesting. Whoever wins this game is going to 2-1. I think the Browns are going to pull this off.
I'm going with the Browns too because they're home.
But then again, I got to look at is Josh McCown is going to do well. I think if Manziel's playing, I would say it's easy. But if Derek Carr plays like he did against the Ravens, Derek Carr looked very good.
But also, the Browns' defense is underrated as well.
They got a solid defense out there. We got Bengals, Ravens. Interesting. Are the Ravens due for a win?
I want to say so because they're home, but I don't see it. I think they're going to go 0-3.
I know it is Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton is playing fantastic through this year
Speaking
so
of
far.
Andy Dalton, I picked him up for my
That's
fantasy team
that's a
because I
smart
have
idea.
Stafford, and he's
It's
going up
injured.
against Denver, so
And I
I
mean
may
that-
sit him and start Dalton.
Dalton's played fantastic, and with the reemergence, I mean, Jeremy Hill, who killed it last year, had two fumbles and nothing. He did next to nothing. Giovanni Bernard, I love to see him
And
because
his go-to target, AJ Green.
AJ Green played well, and the Bengals are just looking good on all cylinders. So they're a dangerous team. I think they could finally, in the playoffs this time, actually win a playoff game because that's been the biggest issue with Marvin Lewis's team. Jaguars play the Patriots. I obviously, as a Patriots fan, picking that. Blake Bortles didn't look bad. Jacksonville still, has the kinks to work out. I think over time. Saints and Panthers. Do the Saints go to 0-3?
Yes.
I think so too. I think the Panthers, they played fantastic last game. They're home.
And no Luke Kuechly. Remember that.
Yeah,
He was out for the concussion.
I know he's out, but he's supposed to be come back or no?
I don't know.
I think
have to
he's
check into
questionable.
that.
I know
Yeah.
the guy's backing him up. I forget his name right now, but the guy's backing him up. He played awesome last week against the Texans. We're gonna go Eagles Jets. Honestly, Eagles are going 0-3. I think the Jets are winning that game because the Eagles look like they don't know what they're doing.
Eagles are in just complete disarray, and plus Jets are home.
Exactly. You know what it is? Jets defense is good. They got a great front seven, and DeMarco Murray's against the Cowboys averaged -7 yards in the game.
DeMarco Murray, you will have another bad game.
I feel bad for him because DeMarco Murray just can't run, and picking Sam Bradford, I think that was a terrible decision. My own opinion. Then we're gonna go Buccaneers Texans. I think Texans do get the win though.
Texans are in due for a win, so I'm picking them.
And we got Chargers Vikings, Steelers Rams, 49ers Cardinals.
That's
I think
an interesting game, Steelers Rams.
I think you're gonna see Steelers just because Le'Veon Bell's back now.
I'm gonna go with the Rams. I'll
You know
go with the Rams.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the Steelers.
I think that loss was kind of like a boiling point for them, or you know what I mean.
Yeah, they're gonna a wake up call.
Wake up call.
49ers Cardinals,
Redskins.
Bills Dolphins, Bears Seattle. Which team's gonna win the game? I think Seattle, just because without Jay Cutler, that's the reason they're
That's a
gonna lose.
blowout. That's gonna be a blowout.
Hey, if you had Jay Cutler, it'd be a game, but they should win at least. But who knows the way Seattle's been playing. Then you got Broncos Lions, interesting matchup. Is the Lions line gonna wreak havoc on Mr. Manning? We'll have to see. And then Chiefs Packers. Honestly, Chiefs should be 2-0. It should be 2-0 versus 2-0. I honestly think Chiefs will win that game though. I think, and if Chiefs don't blow it at the end of the game like they did last week, so we'll have to see what happens there. Moving over to baseball, we're down to the last 10 games in the season. Pretty much everything is pretty much settled in place. Yankees are 3.5 games back from Toronto. I know the Yankee fans out there.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they can push at the end. Who knows? Kansas City's up by 10. They're pretty much it's over in the Central. The West, Texans is up by 3 games right now in Houston. Got to see how that plays out. And going to the National League, the Mets are by 6.5. So gotta give the Mets credit.
Magic number's 5.
Magic number is 5. I like to see what happens. You know what? I would actually really laugh if just with all the stuff that's happened in the Mets over the last 10 years, if they just lost the rest of the season and Washington won took the division. It's not going to happen.
Yeah,
but if it
very
did,
unrealistic
if
there.
it did, I would laugh. St. Louis is up by 4 games on Pittsburgh. Just look at the National League Central. Your number 1 team is 96-56. The number 2 team is 92-60. They would be in first place in any other division in baseball. And the number 3 team, the Cubs, are 89-63. They'd also be in first place in every other division in baseball. Your third best team. That just shows how good the Central is this year. In the West, my Giants are out by 7 games. It's pretty much over for us. Wild card standings. That's where it's tight in the American League. Houston's only got a 1-game lead on Minnesota and a 1.5 game on the Angels. So we'll see how that plays out the last 10 games.
Indians are also in it as well.
Indians are the only
4.5, I think.
4.5.
Yeah, 4.5.
I think it's going to come down to Minnesota, Angels, or Houston, and then it's over in the National League wild card. The Giants have 2 games left till they're out of contention. So I think it's pretty much over. Now we're going to move over to a little bit of pop music just to finish up. Billboard Top 10. Number 1, I Can't Feel My Face by The Weeknd, and number 2, The Hills by The Weeknd.
Wow, that The Weeknd is very popular. They've been on the top 10 Billboard.
For the last, at least the last all 4 weeks, I know they were on it well before we came on show, but good. I'm happy to see that. I like The Weeknd, great singer.
Me too.
What Do You Mean by Justin Bieber? I know that dropped for number 1 last week. It's Justin Bieber. You know what? It's better than old Justin Bieber. I'll take this Justin than older.
Mm-hmm.
Watch Me by Stiletto, still up there. Cheerleader by Omi, didn't move. Nothing really moved. That pretty much everything stayed the same. Lean On by Major Lazer featuring DJ Snake and M.O.
That's been on a few weeks now, too.
Good For You by Selena Gomez and A$AP Rocky. Been there, same thing. 679 by Fetty Wap featuring Remy Boys. Number 9 was Locked Away by R City featuring Adam Levine. Number 10 though was different. It's Photographed by Ed Sheeran. So I like Ed Sheeran. I think he's a
Yeah, that's a good song.
it is. No, I like some of his other stuff. This one's kind of slow, but it's not bad. The number 1 song of this week of last year was Meghan Trainor, All About That Bass Again. We talked about all that last week, man. Good joke. And moving on to our album, going to talk about mention Janet Jackson's coming out with an album called Unbreakable. It's coming out next Friday, October 2nd.
Wow.
So I know there's a lot of Janet Jackson fans out there still, and it's probably surprised me. And now we're going to just move over to a little bit of the box office. Last week, Maze Runner came in first place, like I predicted. It pulled in from Fox. It pulled in 30.3 million for the weekend. Not bad. Black Mass, the one about Johnny Depp, with Johnny Depp in it, that we think looks fantastic, came from Warner Brothers. Came in second with 22.6 million. Number 3 was The Visit by Universal. Came in with 11.5 million. Number 4 was The Perfect Guy by Screen Gems. Came with 9.7 million. And number 5 was Everest. I know we talked about that. It was only in limited theaters. It was, I think, about 600 theaters. Only in IMAX. It pulled in, by Universal, it pulled in 7.2 million. And I know a lot of now studios are starting to think about this idea of let's try to do what Everest did, and also what Mission Impossible did a month and a half, 2 months ago. Let's start off with just an IMAX and then expand. So that's what's going to happen. This week, openings and projections, The Green Inferno, the horror movie by Eli Roth. It's been delayed for months and months and months. They're finally getting it rolling. That's going to come out this weekend. It's coming in 1,500 theaters. About kind of interested to see how that goes. The animated film Hotel Transylvania 2 opens in 3,600 theaters. The Intern, featuring Anne Hathaway, Robert De Niro, a couple of big names in that. Adam Devine's in it. That's opening in 3,100 theaters. And then a couple limited pictures coming out, which I'm interested in. 99 Homes, featuring Andrew Garfield. People know him from Spider-Man. That comes out, just limited though. I think it's only a few theaters, maybe 50. And then Stonewall, that's the whole movement, but the whole gay movement. I'm not sure where it took place, but it's getting a lot of raves just by just everything that's going along with it. That's opening, I think, in 4 theaters. I think it's just opening in LA and New York, but that's supposed to be really good, I guess. And then I'm projecting this week, I think the number 1 in the box office is going to be Hotel Transylvania. Number 2 will be Maze Runner. Number 3 will be Black Mass. I think The Intern going to surprise people. I don't think that many people are going to see it. I think it's going to come in 4th. And I think number 5 is either going to be The Visit or possibly, depending on how this plays out, because it looks really good, is The Green Inferno, the horror film. I like to see that come in at number 5. And I know we have a little bit to talk about for Emmys quickly.
Yeah, the Emmys were held this past Sunday.
Yep.
On TV.
Big winners with Game of Thrones and
yeah.
Olive Kitterberg, that limited time movie or
series. And How to Get Away with Murder. She got the Annalise Keating is Viola Davis' character on the show, How to Get Away with Murder, which premieres tonight at 10 p.m.
I never watched it, but I heard she's fantastic. Her speech was fantastic. She's just from other things, love her to death.
She's great, and also she won the best supporting actress.
No, she won best lead actress.
Oh, best lead actress.
Best lead actor in the drama was Jon Hamm by Mad Men. So happy to see him finally win, because Mad Men was a fantastic show. Jon Hamm was fantastic in it. Show just ended, so it was nice to see that. The lead actor in a comedy series was Jeff Trambler for Transparent, that movie where the show where he's like transgender, or he dresses up. Cross-dresser. I love Jeff Trambler. You've seen him have you ever seen Hellboy? He's been in a bunch of stuff. And then for Veep, Julia Louis-Dreyfus won for Best Lead Actress in the Comedy Series. Peter Dinklage, I know we got a lot of Game of Thrones out there. He won for Best Supporting Actor in Drama. Uzo Abudu from Orange is the New Black, she won Best Supporting Actress. I know a lot of people love that show from Netflix. She won Best in a Drama Series. Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series was Allison Janney from Mom, and Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series was Tony Hale from Veep. Probably the biggest surprise, I know, big thing they messed up with when they came out with Best Drama Series, Game of Thrones, originally the winner was Mad Men beating Game of Thrones, which everyone was like, what? Didn't see that. But actually, they fixed the correction. It was Game of Thrones who won Best Drama Series, which I was expecting to see that. Probably something that caught everyone by surprise, at least me, because I'm a huge fan of the show and it's just been winning every year, was Best Comedy Series, or Outstanding Comedy Series. The nominations were Louie, Modern Family, Parks and Recreation, Silicon Valley, Transparent, Veep, and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Now, it really was down to I think 4 shows, honestly. It was going to be between Veep, Parks and Rec, Modern Family, and Louie. Now, people were going to expect the Modern Family to win and set the record for the 6th consecutive year winning the Emmy, but it didn't. Veep took that title away from Modern Family, the first time in 5 years that a show has beaten it. Modern Family is going to go for the record 6th time. The most times a comedy's ever won was 5. They tied it, but congrats to Veep and Julia Louis-Dreyfus and all that. And then just going to a little mini-series. A lot of people won in this this miniseries. Everything was won by Olive Kitteridge. I think we got to check that out because Richard Jenkins won for lead actor. Bill Murray was a supporting actor in it. He won. Frances McDormand won for lead actress. And then Regina King, I know she won for American Crime.
Yeah. Oh, I got to say, American Crime, I watched that this past spring. That was
good.
Very good. The only thing that I didn't like was that they kind of dragged it on.
It was like longer than it should have been.
Yeah, so like you know how at the beginning of each episode they repeat things. And,
yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't like that. I mean, every show does that, but I just wish they could have sped it up a little bit and
Yeah.
But I mean, among that show, also last night was the premiere of Law and Order SVU
17
season 17. So it's Olivia Benson's 17th season, or Mariska Hargitay.
Yeah, no, geez. Think about that for a minute. 17 years you've been doing it, and it's no way. It's still popular.
I know.
It's not like the shows. You look at the ratings. You look at the numbers. The numbers are in your favor. They want more and more seasons.
Yeah, I hope that show's on for another 2 decades.
Oh yeah, I know. Just throwing out there. We'll talk about next week. I know we'll talk about in depth, but The Blacklist is coming up.
Yeah.
Season premiere of that. Can't wait to see that.
Yeah. So a lot of great shows. Actually, tonight is the season premiere of Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder, all starting at 8 p.m. on ABC.
Really recommend if you've never seen any of them, definitely watch Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder. I have to watch. I've watched Grey's Anatomy. Yeah. Last night was the season premiere of Blackish, Modern Family. I watched both those. They were hysterical. If you want to see a good show, funny show, I recommend those. There's a lot of good stuff on television right now.
Yeah, and actually on September 30th, Chicago PD on ABC
comes back.
No, I'm sorry, NBC
comes back
at 10 p.m.
So another good show. A lot of good stuff coming back. Jeez, man, too much. Yeah. Too many good shows.
I can't keep up with all of them. Sometimes.
You know what it is? Netflix is really going to come in handy over winter break.
Yeah. What about you, Rocky? Do you like any shows that are coming back?
No? I don't really. I'm more into like sports though. Yeah. But
okay.
I'm open to anything though.
Yeah. No, I love those kind of like emergency shows and crime dramas.
The crime dramas, so
like Law and Order, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's my show.
That's my.
Yeah. I hope American Crime comes back in the spring.
Oh, it should. They got. Well, listen. Yeah. When you win Emmys too, it's like kind of bolsters it up. Where you should see them back, and I'm gonna be interested to see. With who gets the Golden Globe nominations now. Seeing how Olive Kitteridge won everything for that limited series, I'm interested to see now. Doesn't win everything again.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. But the Emmys were fantastic. Everyone looked great job. I really enjoyed watching it. Something I'll definitely probably... I have it taped, so I'll probably watch it again just because it was really enjoyable. They did a great job. Andy Samberg was funny. Did a great job at handling it.
Yeah, I mean, I unfortunately, I didn't watch it, but I did see the excerpts that they show on the news. So the one actress that I'm glad she won something was Viola Davis.
Yeah, no, she was.
And she's phenomenal on How to Get Away with Murder. So I encourage you to watch that tonight, 10 p.m. on ABC. So. Do you have any more?
No, but I think it's time for us to go, Matt. So
yeah, it is 4:59. So we
gotta head out now. Thank you for listening. I'm Dave.
I'm Matt Ricker, and we hope to see you next time. And thank you, Rocky, for joining us on today's show.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Sure. And we'll see you right back here next Thursday at 4 p.m. on WICR.
Adios.